Welcome, it's Domain Dave for Cheap Wine Finder. Again, as always, 3 times a week we write up a value-priced wine, and then we plug in the microphone and we talk about it, and here we are. And I've got one of the rare new wines from Aldi. Aldi's a really good place for value-priced wines, especially in Europe. They have wines in Europe that we don't see. And this is a European wine. This is the Castellore DOCG Chianti 2023. DOCG is the highest category of standards for Italian wine. And the G guarantees the origin, which in Italy is perfect. This Chianti is from Tuscany. There are 2 DOCG Chiantis. There is the Chianti Classico, which has around the band on the neck of the bottle, there's a black rooster. And then there's just the regular DOCG Chianti. The Classico is first. They've been around longer than the other one is. And there's a little bit of a rivalry there, but it's perfectly okay to like both or one or the other. And this is a $5.99 Chianti, which is really for an Italian family who has a bottle of wine with lunch and then what's ever left of the bottle or even new bottle for dinner. $5.99 is the sweet spot. I mean, very few families, and there's some that can't afford $40 bottles, but most of the time they're drinking this. So if they go $5.99, it can't be any good, but it's a DOCG. That is a guarantee of quality. Doesn't guarantee you're going to like the wine. It doesn't going to guarantee it's your style, but it guarantees it was made to the best quality. Now, I'm not sure who the Castellore brand is. I think it's an Aldi brand. It might be, they might have more than one Italian maker make wines for them, just a brand that they always have. That's kind of standard. I don't recall it being in Aldi's here, but if I went online, there's all sorts of Italian wines that they sell in Europe. Yeah, I mean, the European Aldi customers get way better selection than we do. So how is this wine? And how is this wine? It's good. It's a food wine. This is how they would drink Chianti in Italy. They don't go out at night and have a glass of wine. They don't sit outside. It's a little warm now, but when it gets cooled off a little bit around a fire pit with the neighbors and lawn chairs and chit chat, they would not be drinking wine there, at least probably not. They drink wine for meals. You don't want to drink wine for meals and then drink it at night. It just doesn't happen that often. Not that they don't ever, but it's not something. We're kind of backwards. We're not drinking wine for lunch. Might have a little bit for dinner, but more likely in a social context. I'm gonna take a sip. It's soft and smooth, but it's got enough interest there. It's got pepper. It's got some hard-edged spices and some interesting spices. I don't know if it saw any oak. It might see some American oak. I thought I picked up a flavor or an aroma of oak spice in there, but maybe not. $5.99. I could be wrong. I'm seeing oak in more and more less expensive wines, but it couldn't. Maybe it's just a harder edge. Maybe it's the tannins. It does have tannins, and the thing about tannins is it adds structure to to your wine. But when you have a sip of red pasta or you're eating a taco and then you take a sip of your wine, that gives it enough edge to it to kind of refresh your palates. Tannins are good. When you're just sipping, maybe tannins might be a little bit too much sometimes, maybe not. But with food, tannins are really the way to go. Now, this wine is not a tannic wine, but I'm thinking it's it's more of a food wine than a sipping wine because there are tannins there, though they are softer and dustier and that type of thing. But it is meant, if you were in Italy, you'd be having this with a plate of cheese, with some pasta, with whatever they have there that tastes good, which is everything. And $5.99 with for food, yeah. Europe does it all the time. Here, where we don't know nothing about nothing, it's like, oh, we better spend lots and lots of money. Nah, it's okay. They can make good wine for not much money. Gonna take another sip. Yeah, it's got good flavor. Not the most complex. It's not California. It's got a little bit more structure than most people want. But then again, like I said, that structure is to make it balance with food. It might not be the most perfectly balanced wine for a sipping wine, but you'll really enjoy the balance when you are eating something. It could be a burger, it could be Chipotle, it could be an Italian beef sandwich. It could be anything that needs a little bit of red fruit and a nice snap to the wine. That's it for me, Domain Dave, cheapwinefinder.com. This is Aldi's $5.99 Castellore DOCG Chianti 2023. To have it like Italians do and get a plate of cheese or some sausage, something. So that's pretty good in that context. So adios, keep it cheap. I'll be talking to everybody in a couple of days. Stay cool. And that's it. Bye-bye. Adios.